Hey, how you doing? This is Eric from AHA, Americans Helping Americans, and AMP Live, the American Mentee program, powered by AMP Live Media and sponsored by VIP Execs Realty and Lending. Step into excellence. Welcome to Mindset Money Monday in the AMP Live Real Estate Show. Thank you for showing up, watching this all the way through. It'll be obviously recorded live and chopped up, monetized, and all that good stuff. But right now, it's always live and uncut. So definitely reach out, love, like, share. We appreciate that. Down below, there'll be a little chat. If you have any questions or you see this floating around in your feed and you're going through, stop it right now. I'm going to share with you, right? The good and the bad and the ugly of on market and off market. On market versus on market is what it really should be. And I'm going to share the difference with you. Then I'm going to be back at 11:15. I'm actually going to show you. We're going to get into it. I'm going to share my screen. You'll be able to see some on market stuff on how to hunt those things and what to do, as well as off market. And how to hunt those types of properties. There's two different types of jams. There's not too much to it. It's pretty easy, but I'm going to explain to you the difference and what you need to use to find the off-market deals and what you need to do to get those on-market deals to figure out, well, where's the good ones? Where do they lie? What do you need to do? And then probably around maybe 2 p.m. or maybe 6 p.m. today, I'm going to share with you the gatekeeper, the difference between a gatekeeper real estate agent or a gatekeeper agent and a unicorn real estate agent or a real estate, or I should say unicorn agent, right? Is there a difference? Yes. Why is it important to deal with one or the other, right? There's the good and the bad and the ugly with that too. So I'm going to come back and it'll kind of pair up with what's going to happen today. So what's going to transpire today, I'm going to put this up real quick. I just wanted to share this with you. I'm going to do a little housekeeping. So let me see. I'm going to have to put on these spectacles as well, right? So it's been a crazy 2025 so far. A lot of different things going on in the market. It's adjusting and shifting on, and properties are staying on market a little bit longer than they need to. But then spring and summer's coming, right? So in different areas, it's all about real estate. Location, as well as the demographics in the area and what type of deals that are coming down the wire, or what just people wanting to go buy houses, millennials, things of that nature, investors, the big dogs and what they're doing. There's some stuff going on with wholesalers and the different states and all that good stuff with the whiners and crybabies that are out there, whining about that stuff. And I get it, right? It only takes a few to mess it up for the many. It happened last cycle as well. I won't get into that today. We'll maybe hit the Facebook group and we'll chat about that. And if you understand what I'm saying there in regards to, different processes on how to do things properly, just be transparent, right? Be transparent, disclose, and do the right thing, right? That's it. Cross the T's, dot the I's. Never promise something you can't do. Things are going to happen. It's real estate. There's a lot of moving parts, right? So you have to be prepared for that and disclose that, and things can happen. So you just got to work together with the seller, investor, title, escrow, all that good stuff to make stuff happen. It doesn't mean it is a process to get things happen. Sometimes very rare, they go smooth, but they do. And then others, you have to, you got to create the deal, work the deal, massage the deal, and all that good stuff on all different personality types. So it's it's an interesting process. Just rinse and repeat. Okay, it's not for everybody. But today I'm going to talk about on-market and off-market deals, right? What's the difference between those two? What's the difference? What's the good, the bad, and the ugly? So I'm just going to tap into that a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen here. So motivated sellers, basically what we're looking for, right? Motivated sellers in the real estate investment world, or even if you're a real estate agent or a broker, obviously that's one. We're going to talk about off-market first, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of on-market stuff, right? So the off-market stuff, obviously, it's motivated sellers, right? We're looking for sellers that need to sell. Want to sell would be geared towards a real estate agent. Need to sell is going to be for at a stress situation, real estate investor, wholesaler, whatever it may be in the private sector. So we're going to call them two sectors, private and public, right? Public is real estate agent, brokerage, MLS, and DRE, all that good stuff. Private sector is going to be, wholesalers, real estate investors, for sale by owners, people that want to sell their house without an agent, all that good stuff, right? And do their own thing. So motivated sellers, where are they? They're everywhere, pretty much, right? The deal is trying to locate them and then working out a deal and negotiating a deal with those motivated sellers So, some people are having a hard time. Other people are just, hey, they're going after it and just writing stuff up left and right and knocking it out of the ballpark. And others are writing stuff up, but maybe they're too tight or the margins are too tight, or maybe they wrote a contract and they, got the backpedals. First thing I do not like is backpedaling. We do our due diligence. We cross our T's, we dot our I's, and we put it on the table. That is the deal. We disclose it to the seller. At the end of the day, if they go for it, great. If not, we got several options for them. We run them through the flow, cash 1, cash 2, cash 3. If that doesn't work, some cash now, some cash later. If that don't work, how about some cash now? If that doesn't work, how about an option? If that don't work, novate it. If that don't work, how about, hey, pass them on to the public sector, right? Hey, maybe they can help you out with a loan, or maybe they can help you out with listing the property of some sort. So there is a flow through it. We even offer marketing to if we're wanting to go into that specific area to get our signage out there through our AMP Live marketing company or AMP Live Media, and offer the seller to help them out with some marketing, right? So there's a what's the word I'm looking for? There's a method to the madness, I should say, right? We call it the AMP Live method. That's what we do. So I'll share that with you too as well later on. But motivated sellers, where do you find them? Well, they're everywhere. They're in your own backyard. If you're going to go free with some free elbow grease, I'm going to pull this up right here. So share that with you, right? So it's the AMP Live Real Estate Show, Mindset Money Monday. That's what we're going to do today. And we're going to talk about motivated sellers on market and off market. We're actually going to go around 11:15, get into details. I'm going to share my screen and show you where to find these motivated sellers, different things you can do. There's different types of software. Let's start off with the elbow grease. Let's start off with the free stuff. There'll also be something free in here that I'm going to share with you. It's called Surfing for Deals. I'm going to give it to you for free. It should be in the post somewhere. I think it's a free bonus of some sort just for liking, watching, and sharing. Please do that. It helps us out. Helps out our cause and mission from AHA, Americans Helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America. That is our and my true cause and mission, is to help our fellow Americans that have some difficulties in real estate and they need to sell, or maybe they're looking for an alternative of some sort. Doesn't matter whether it's public sector, private sector, as well as fellow Americans who want to get into the business, right? We've been talking to a lot of people and a lot of different things, whether they have the money, don't have the money to come aboard, take care of the hard costs, whether they're going to show up. I get it. It's just part of the jam. But here we are in spring, right? So it's time to rock and roll and get geared up for the rest of 2025 and into 2026. So where do we find these deals? Well, first and foremost, you can find them on these websites. There's websites that have inventory where a for sale by owner, FSBO, or a for sale by owner will go and put that property on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. They'll put it on Zillow. They'll put it anywhere where they can do it for free. And they're willing to, work it with potential buyers, right? Because maybe they sold a few houses before, or maybe they don't have the money to fix it up. Maybe they don't want to pay a real estate agent's fees, right? Maybe they don't want a bunch of people running in and out of the property, and they want to schedule a cattle call or be very selective in who they want coming in and viewing their property or working a deal until they get frustrated, right? You get it sold, awesome. The goal is for you to catch that lead because they rose their hand. They said, I need to sell or I want to sell. I'll show you how to navigate between the two using the lead gen form. That's what we call the mission is the submission. Did that over the weekend. If you didn't see the video, go back and catch it. You can hashtag get Erick Paul Live to find it. So right now it is a little gloomy. We did have believe it or not, had an earthquake today. So it was kind of weird. It didn't feel, it wasn't rocking. It was just moving. You could just hear it rumble a little bit, and then bam, got the little notice that popped up, said, hey, hold on to your ass. Here comes an earthquake, but that was after the fact, right? Day late, dollar short. But, you can't predict those things in crazy, beautiful Southern California or California, period. But that was interesting. So let's get back to it. So where do you find these deals, right? Motivated sellers. You can also get some data. You can use PropStream is one I like because they have more data points than the others. And they were bought out by a title company. So hopefully they keep that stuff up and keep it rolling with the algorithms and things of that nature and plug in the fresh data. Now, I like it better because it's a little fresher than other people's data that we shared in the past or we worked with and pulled up and then compared. They got more data points as well. They used to give you the notice of default information. They're not doing that anymore unless you pay, which kind of sucks, right? So if you have access to a national title company or an app, only when you need it, and you really got to look it up. Although PropWire is doing pretty good, because PropWire on their foreclosure information is actually putting it there. So they got a good thing going up and above and over PropStream, because PropStream used to be the jam, because I like to see that. And then there was another one that I won't mention, but they were kind of old, but then they kind of got back into it. We haven't tested them again. We're probably going to test them to see how their data was always good. Their skip tracing, but their background information was very good, but they locked it up until everybody else started giving it away. So they disappeared for 2 or 3 years, and they had to come back. And now they're trying to compete, right? With now it was only like 5 or 6, 7 states. Now it's every state. They jumped on saying, hey, we're going to give you all the skip tracing and it's free information up to a certain point. And then, you pay your monthly. So we're going to go test that data as well, probably with this second quarter, to see how it runs and to compare it against PropStream and Deal Machine and Batch. And what else we got? We got Privy and all that good stuff. Privy is great for the MLS stuff, on market stuff, right? PropStream, it's good for the off-market stuff. And even Deal Machine, they got some pretty good data as far as the background information. If you're working probate, things of that nature. Don't like their foreclosure too much, because it doesn't really share the default information, or it's a day late, $1 short type stuff. So you got to be careful with that stuff. So you want to make sure. So it's going to happen, right? So that's why if you have access to a national title desk, then you can go look and go, hey, okay, boom, here's the NOD, here's when it started, here's the paperwork and all that good stuff. So then you can see what's going on to make sure that the seller understands and knows that, hey, here's the NOD. Was there any other liens, encumbrances, mechanic liens, things of that nature before you move into a deal? Of course, you don't do all that until you talk with the seller first, right? The mission is the submission, but this is how you find them. So we do have something that's called Surfing for Deals. So you can find those off-market deals right there. Creative real estate investing, how to get off-market deals. It's Surfing for Deals, right? Surfing for Deals. We got something for you. I'll share it with you. It's free. You can probably download it. It's going to be in the post. I'll probably post it in here as well. Let me see if I can grab the link, and I'll put it in here. Let's take a look. Where's it at? I don't have to put on these glasses. I won't put on the glasses quite yet, but let's wait a little bit longer, and then I'll go ahead and share that with you. I'll put it in the chat so you can actually grab that. It's going to be in the post as well, but it's very simple. It's going to be a training video. There'll be a PDF with some copy and paste stuff, and it's going to help you blow up your phone, email, and text with leads that want and need to sell. That's what you're looking for, right? So creative real estate investing, how to get off-market deals, right? So that's one way, because look, they're already going to a place and a platform to post their property because they want to sell or need to sell, right? So you're not having to get a bunch of data, upload it to your CRM, and then text market, call, cold call, ring with voice message, postcards to see if they want to sell. These people you're already fishing in a giant pond where sellers are at. And they're saying, hey, I'm raising my hand here saying, hey, I want to sell my property. Talk to me, right? Until they get frustrated and they get tired. If they sell it, great. Congratulations to them. Or if they get tired, then they're 9 times out of 10, 80% of them, 80% of the time, they're going to go ahead and enlist with a real estate agent, or they're going to get a hold of you or an investor like us and talk to us, and hopefully we can work a deal in some capacity, one way or another, okay? So that's how that works. I'm going to introduce myself real quick. I'm Erick Jimenez, that's right, of AHA, Americans Helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America and the world. I'm all about made in America. I'm all about doing everything here and bringing everything here and helping our fellow Americans, because that's what it's all about. That's the American dream, right? So let me go ahead and I've been doing this for a little while. I'm here to help you and work with you, one capacity or another. I personally love off-market deals. You can call it whatever you want. Some people go, hey, do I go after on-market? Some people go, no, we're going to start maneuvering into the on-market stuff, right? Just talk a little bit about that. On-market as well, it goes on the MLS. Once it goes on the MLS, that means everybody and their mother has access to it or knows about it through Zillow, Trillia, and through all the affiliations and affiliated business arrangements and all that good stuff. So it gets blasted out to a bunch of websites or whoever the MLS that you're attached to, right? And whatever city, it could be any state, pushes it out to all the different websites, right? So you're going to see it. and then the agent's going to use social media and Facebook to push out the lead or push out the property that's listed. Once it's listed, everybody and their mother is going to have access to it, right? Now, the off market is like off market jewels, right? You're going to dig, you're going to find, you're going to search. And when you search those, you'll be able to go valley to valley or work a deal on the phone. You'll get a better deal than you will most likely 9 times out of 10 with an on market deal. Because on an on market deal, obviously, you're going to have the seller, you got the real estate agent, then you have the real estate, which is going to be, one side for the seller. And then if they bring a buyer, you got to pay for that. And then you got to pay for closing costs and escrow and all that good stuff. And then later on this evening, I'm going to talk about the gatekeeper real estate agents and the unicorn agents, right? For off-market deals, you need to work with the unicorn agents. You have to vet them. You have to make sure they're going to be able to work with you and work for you at the end of the day, vice versa, and letting you chat with the seller. Because you know how secondhand information gets lost in translation. So it's a pain in the ass. So you have to go through that process to get those unicorn agents to do what you need to do. Off-market, on-market properties, you got to look for, we'll get into that a little bit right now. I'm going to move maybe to the next slide for the surfing for deals type stuff. Now, how do you do that? Surfing for deals works for both. On-market, off-market, doesn't matter, right? I'm going to show you how to hunt for those off-market deals and vet them and talk with them and what you need to do, copy and paste a couple of links and follow through. And the mission is a submission to talk with that seller and to provide some solutions to them. Now, with the on-market, it's a little different, right? So on market, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to talk with the agent, and you have to qualify the agent. You have to see if the agent is a gatekeeper agent or a over here gatekeeper or what, or a unicorn agent. What's the difference? Which I'm going to get into later on, but I'll just briefly talk about the gatekeeper agent's going to be the one that's going to lock it up. It's going to ask you for proof of funds. They're going to ask you for EMD. They're going to ask you what you're about and who you're about. They're not going to allow you to talk with the seller. And you could probably submit an offer. It doesn't mean, depending on their fiduciary responsibilities. And yes, sometimes they don't do that. They will not submit your offer if it's too low, or they say, I'm not going to submit it. But legally, they have to. And then others will submit every offer to the seller because that is their obligation to do so, right? Also, there's nothing written in stone, unless it is written in stone, saying the seller does not want to talk to the buyer. The agent does not want to allow that to happen. They can't do shit. It's up to the seller to decide that stuff, but it's not in the contracts, right? So if it's not in the contracts, if a buyer asks the agent to say, I want to present this offer to the seller, can the agent say no? No, they're supposed to go ask. And if the seller says yes, then they move forward, right? So that is the difference. Gatekeeper is going to be, hey, no, I got to protect my seller and this and that. I can't talk to him, blah, 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 right? Next, move on, okay? You're looking for a unicorn agent. Unicorn agent saying, yeah, hey, I'm flexible. I get it. I want to help. I want to do what's the best thing for my seller at the end of the day. And that means adapting to today's times, right? Things are shifting and changing. So Subto, seller finance, all creative stuff is emerging, coming out on the table, thanks to some awesome people that are out there doing that stuff right and sharing that stuff the right way, and creating a benchmark of policies and procedures, right? Like I said, there's always some people that are going to mess it up for others, but if you do it right, you disclose and you do stuff correctly, then there shouldn't be an issue, right? Title companies and escrow companies should not have no issues, and there should always be able to close something no matter what, right? Because it's just getting pieces of paper and confirming stuff and making sure that they're good to go to issue what they need to issue with title insurance and escrow. So surfing for deals. On market, you can look. What are you looking for in an on-market deal? You're looking for a long time on the MLS, right? 90 days plus. Also looking for the fixer-uppers that look pretty tore up maybe, and yes, they're on the market for a long period of time, right? Maybe they're on the market for a long time and the price is low, right? And it's listed, and it's been listed maybe for 3, 4, or 5 months, maybe longer. So you're going to want to talk with the agent. You're going to want to vet them. You're going to want to make sure that they're flexible and they're willing to work with you and allow you to present your offer to the seller on a Zoom call or in person. We've done it before with either short sales or just, talking with the agent first, having a meeting with them, break some bread, and have some coffee, go over it, and then go meet with the seller in person with the agent there and moving forward to help everybody involved. So it truly is a win-win-win situation when you're doing stuff like that, but you have to find the right ones. So that's the difference there. Okay, so when you're surfing for deals, you can look for them. Hey, there's lots of deals on the MLS, right? If you know what to look for. And some people are pretty badass at finding that stuff. Like, oh my God, where'd you find that? Look at the price. That's awesome, right? Or, hell, man, that shit's been on the market for a long time. Man, they need some help. So you are truly helping your fellow Americans by going and helping them unload those dead dogs. Same thing with the off-market stuff. You're helping your fellow Americans if you come in, you negotiate it and put that deal together and try to get them maximum dollars for their property and still do what you need to do to make a profit, because you are an investor. It's not a charity. It's not, don't do shit for free. No such thing as free. Free as shit. Shit is free. Government doesn't give free, right? None of that stuff, right? So you gotta, you gotta see what's better for you. And there are some people, trust me, I talked to some people and I said, why did you go on market first? And they're like, well, I thought it'd be easier because the agent's going to write up the contracts. They don't got to learn contracts. I find the right agent and I'm just going to put in an offer, and then I'm going to try to assign the deal, but they got to disclose, because if you don't disclose, then if you think they think you're going to buy it and you don't, and you're a wholesaler, there's a fine line between all that good stuff, right? You have to disclose and let them know what's happening and move forward and be transparent. Otherwise, you can lose your EMD, your earnest money deposit. You put some money up, you're going to lose it. Talk to several people where they've done that. Right? They watch some videos on YouTube and some TikTok stuff, and all that good stuff. And then all of a sudden they put $1,000 in, $2,000 in, and it didn't work out. Right. So they end up losing that money and then, canceled escrow. So it happens. You got to be careful. Online, off market, totally different, right? You're working, meeting the minds with the seller and going back and forth to provide some solutions to that seller. If you go belly to belly, you're going to make more money. The more problems, the more solutions, the more money you'll make, because you're bringing something valuable to the table by providing solutions for that seller. So that's where I live. That's what I prefer. I'm not too much into the on-market stuff, but it works. If you do it and you have a tolerance for agents and things of that nature, then it'll work out great for you. Okay. Let me go ahead and move over here, but I'm going to send the Surfing for Deals, what it's called. There'll be, let me see. I believe it's going to be in the chat down below. Let me put on these spectacles real quick so I can share it with you. Alrighty. Let's go back. Put it right up in there. It's free. Just for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But to catch us at 11:15, we're actually going to go in. I'm going to share some screen shots with you and get on and share my screen with you. It was Mindset Money Monday, the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Definitely download that bonus. It's free. Surfing for Deals is what it's called. Okay. You can also join the Southern California meetup. You can text us at 909-341-6629. Amp Live SoCal Real Estate Meetup Group, AHA USA. One-on-one mentoring. Learn the art of the deal. Become a friendship deal investor. Ask us how. If you're ready to rock and roll and do some deals. I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit more information on my one sheet here, right? So I'm Erick Jimenez, creator, real estate investor, mentor, coach, speaker, all that good stuff, right? Who is Americans Helping Americans? Well, that's what we do. We're a real estate investment firm, and we buy, sell, and flip properties throughout the United States of America. What is creative real estate investing? Well, that's a great question. It's anything that's underneath this umbrella of creative real estate investing. It could be Subto. It could be seller financing. It could be lease options, anything that's not a traditional real estate agent, broker, and anything on the MLS. Okay. How can we help you grow your real estate career? Well, we've been doing this for a while, and we're always looking for great people to work with. Definitely get into our ecosystem, download something, go watch the videos, hashtag Get Erick Paul Live. And there'll be tons of videos out there. We are looking for mentees, and we still do the one-on-one mentoring, one-on-one with everybody out there. So it is the American Mentee program that we share with others. It is a selection process. We only take on a handful of people at a time, and you have to go through the selection process. Plain and simple. Take on the hard costs. We mentor you for 6 months, one-on-one. We partner up and do 6 deals for the next 12 months. It's a done with you, done for you program. So we're in the ring with you. We're negotiating. We're helping you because I want you to understand and hear how to negotiate live until you're able to do it, and then start locking up deals yourself. And it is done for you, where we're going to plug in the CRM, the marketing, and all that good stuff, because you have to have deal flow, but only when you're ready for it. You don't want to put the cart before the horse. I've had tons of people go ahead and put the cart before the horse. Had a Marine Corps guy, a military guy, him and his wife spent about $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on their website, another 5 or 10 on postcards, 6 months building all that stuff up, and then started working the leads. And within that 6 months, they should have been working on themselves and working how to negotiate, working on their closing ratios. So when they got all that stuff, ended up falling flat, took a shit, put the cart before the horse, right? So they said, man, we're getting out of this stuff unless you can help us, right? I pretty much ran out of money. So they had to basically go back and do something else and scrap the idea because they couldn't handle the leads that are coming in and they weren't working. So they just need help. But unfortunately, free is free and free is shit. So you got to pay the piper at the end of the day. That's what happens, right? It's just is what it is. But I will tell you this, that anybody who comes aboard, you're going to save 3 to 5 years of spinning your wheels. And that's what I did when I got a mentor. It shaved off 3 to 5 years of spinning wheels. Okay, so let's go back to this here. Here's my information here. For Americans Helping Americans, join the cause. I am one of the founders serving Southern California, USA. There's my information right there. Okay, AHA, Americans Helping Americans. Instant offer. Hey, send your deals our way. We're looking for deals across the United States of America here in Southern California. Just FYI, our hiring, we're looking for some acquisition people, some badass people who do acquisitions. Give you leads as well as you hunting leads and plugging into AMP Live, the American Mentee program, and understanding if you're seasoned and you've done deals, cool. If you're kicking ass, you're looking for a new home, let's talk, let's chat. Also looking for dispo people as well as high ticket sales for the mentoring agreement, right? So you can make a ton of cash doing that as well. If you got a skill set for closing high ticket sales, then we want to talk with you. Definitely reach out, DM me or anybody, or try to get in touch with us at any of the social media platforms, and they'll get in touch with me and we'll chat and we'll talk, see if we're a good fit. Okay. So throwing that out there. And then we're going to wrap this back up over here. Definitely grab your surfing for deals. Motivated leads, right? Off market versus on market deals and leads. Okay. The good, the bad, the ugly. That was just kind of an overview. Be back at 11:15. We're going to get into hunting some off market stuff and then getting into hunting some on market stuff. Okay. So rock and roll and all what you do. Mindset Money Monday. Go out and get your book if you haven't read it, Think and Grow Rich, or the 17 Principles of Success. Read, and study. And, that's fuel for the mind. At the end of the day, I am a God-fearing man. So that is my fuel to keep me rocking and rolling, as well as my family and everything else and friends and people in my core. So I appreciate you, all past, present, and future mentees of America. Rock and roll and all what you do. I'm going to bring out my mug here so you can see my face and close out this wonderful, beautiful, lovely thing that we're doing here. Mindset Money Mondays, AMP Live, the American Real Estate, AMP Live, the real estate show. AHA, Americans Helping Americans, one America at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America. AMP Live, the American Mentee program, the only program of its kind where we train and mentor you one-on-one across the United States, doesn't matter where you're at, right, to help you build your business. And AMP Live Media, it's a media broadcasting company that helps ourselves with marketing as well as any mentee that comes down the wire. Sponsored by VIP Execs Realty and Lending. Step into excellence. You want to hang your license, you want to rock some real estate, definitely give us a holler, and I will plug you in, right, on both sides, the real estate and the lending, doesn't matter. But definitely reach out. Love to chat with you. Get in. There's going to be a link down below too. Jump in that group. All right. So people are joining. Thank you for joining and sharing your deals and stuff like that. So I want to rock some deals inside that group. A lot of deals are coming up. A lot of crazy stuff all over the United States of America. Ugly ones, awesome ones, cool ones. Some cosmetic fix and flips, multifamily, all kinds of beautiful, lovely stuff is flowing everywhere. Okay. So look forward to speaking with you. See you at about 11:15. If you're around, if not, save this video, watch it all the way through, back and forth, grab that information, take it into the field, and definitely reach out anytime. Bye-bye.